The rain outside wasn't just rain, it was a full-blown storm, turning Manhattan's glowing skyline into a blur of silver and shadows. Anyone passing by the tall glass windows of Rossi La Luna would see the silhouettes of wealthy diners sipping expensive wine, unaware, or unconcerned, about the chaos outside. Inside the restaurant, everything was polished perfection. Crystal chandeliers cast warm golden light over white tablecloths. Soft Italian music drifted from hidden speakers. The waitstaff moved like synchronized dancers, silent, polished, trained not to breathe too loudly around certain customers. And among them stood Maya Ellis. 24 years old, broke, fiercely independent, a firecracker in a world that preferred obedient candles. She was wiping down table 7, the table reserved for VIPs, when her manager, a nervous man named Harold, rushed toward her. "Maya," he whispered, sliding beside her, "whatever you do tonight, keep your mouth shut. Don't argue. Don't speak unless spoken to." She raised an eyebrow. "Why, am I serving the president?" "Worse," Harold hissed. "He's coming." "Who?" Before he could answer, the double doors swung open with a dramatic gust of wind, and the entire restaurant seemed to inhale at once. Leonardo Rossi, the Italian billionaire, the man whose name was whispered in boardrooms, feared in negotiations, and idolized in tabloids. Tall, sharp-featured, impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than Maya made in 3 months. His presence alone demanded attention. People didn't look at him, they reacted to him. Employees straightened. Guests paused. Even the music felt quieter. Maya, however, remained unimpressed. Harold nudged her hard. "Don't provoke him, please." "I don't provoke people," she muttered. "They provoke me." Leonardo's eyes scanned the room like a general surveying his territory, and then, unexpectedly, they landed on Maya. He walked toward table 7 with confident, precise steps. His expression unreadable, cold, but undeniably magnetic. "You're new," he said as he took his seat. Maya nodded. 2 weeks in, trying my best not to get fired." He didn't smile. "Then let's hope your best is better than most." Harold turned pale. Maya remained steady. "What would you like to order?" she asked, pen poised. He listed dishes in a smooth, accented voice: bruschetta, truffle risotto, roasted lamb, and a specific wine that most people couldn't pronounce. Maya wrote everything calmly. When she returned with the appetizer, Leonardo barely glanced at it before saying, "Too much basil." "Take it back." Maya blinked. "Sir, that's the exact recipe the chef uses. Every other guest loves it." He raised an eyebrow, clearly unused to being challenged. "I'm not every other guest. And I'm not a mind reader," she said evenly. "If you want it made some special way, you need to tell me first." The room froze. Harold looked like he might faint on the spot. Leonardo leaned back slowly, studying her the way a scientist studies a curious specimen. "Are you arguing with me?" "Not arguing," Maya replied. "Just explaining. There's a difference." For a moment, no one breathed. Then, a small smile tugged at the edge of Leonardo's lips. It wasn't friendly, it was intrigued. "You're bold," he murmured. "Most employees here walk on eggshells." Maya shrugged. "I walk on concrete. It's cheaper." Some diners actually choked on their wine. Leonardo's smile deepened by a fraction. "Very well. Bring me something you recommend. Surprise me." Her eyes narrowed. "Anything." "Yes," he said, voice dropping into a low challenge, "anything." So Maya went into the kitchen, ignoring Harold's hyperventilating. The chef, Matteo, glanced at her. What did he do now? Complain that the air wasn't Italian enough. Maya smirked. Close. She grabbed ingredients with quick, confident hands: fresh tomatoes, garlic, basil, olive oil, a sprinkle of salt. She cooked the way her mother taught her. Slow when needed, fast when necessary, always with heart. Minutes later, she placed a plate in front of Leonardo. "This," she said quietly, "is something my mother used to make for me. Nothing fancy, but it's honest." Leonardo stared at the dish. Not at the food, at her. Then he picked up his fork and took a bite. The reaction was subtle. His jaw loosened, his eyes softened, a faint sigh escaped him as if the taste pulled him into a memory he wasn't prepared for. "It's simple," he said. "That's the point. It tastes like," he paused, searching for a word, "home." Something flickered in his eyes, brief, vulnerable, unexpected. Maya didn't gloat. She simply nodded and stepped back. But before she could walk away, Leonardo reached inside his coat and pulled out his phone. He swiped once, twice, then turned the screen toward her. Maya felt the ground tilt beneath her. Because on the screen was a photograph. A photograph she had never seen before. Her, at around 10 years old, smiling shyly in a summer dress. Standing beside her mother, and beside them stood a younger version of Leonardo Rossi. Maya's fingers trembled, her voice came out in a whisper. Where did you get this picture? Leonardo's expression hardened, not in anger, but something deeper. My question is, he said slowly, why were you and your mother in my family's villa in Italy, 20 years ago? Maya's breath caught, her heart slammed against her ribs. A cold chill washed over her skin. She tried to speak, but no words came. Leonardo lowered the phone, his gaze sharp, searching, almost desperate. Maya Ellis, he said, his voice a low thunder. Who exactly are you? The restaurant had never been quieter. Maya stood frozen, and the storm outside raged harder. Maya's throat tightened as she stared at the old photograph on Leonardo Rossi's phone. Her young self, her mother, and a 17-year-old Leonardo standing beside them at a sunlit Italian villa. A place she barely remembered. A time her mother never talked about. Her hands shook. This makes no sense, she whispered. Leonardo watched her carefully, his storm-gray eyes sharper than before, no longer the cold billionaire everyone feared, but a man digging through painful memories he'd buried long ago. I didn't think it was possible, he said quietly. But the moment you brought that dish, I remembered her. I remembered you. Maya's breath caught. That dish, he nodded. She used to make it for me. When my father kept me locked away to study. When I had no one to talk to. She would sneak into the garden, find me by the lake, and bring that exact dish. His voice was steady, but there was a tremor beneath it, a tremor Maya had never expected from someone like him. She swallowed hard. I don't remember much. I was small. I know we lived in Italy for a few years. But my mother never told me she worked in your house. She didn't work for us, Leonardo corrected softly. She took care of us. Of me. A pause. She was everything my father was not. Maya blinked away the sudden sting in her eyes. Leonardo stepped closer, lowering his phone. Why did she leave? He asked. She disappeared overnight. No warning. My father fired half the staff to find out what happened. No one knew anything. Maya exhaled slowly, the truth rising like a weight she'd been carrying for years. She didn't want to leave, she said. She was forced. Leonardo's jaw tensed. By whom? She hesitated only a second. Your father. The air between them thickened. Leonardo's expression changed, slowly, painfully, as if he had expected the answer but still hoped to be wrong. Maya continued, her voice trembling but firm. He accused her of stealing something. Something valuable. Something she didn't take. His eyes hardened. My father accused many people of many things. But your mother, she was the most honest person I ever knew. That's why she ran, Maya said. He threatened to have her arrested. Or deported. He said he had evidence. She told me it was planted. Leonardo let out a quiet, bitter laugh. That sounds like him. He wanted her out, Maya whispered. She told me that one night he came to her room, furious. He said she was influencing you too much. That you were becoming weak because of her. A muscle in Leonardo's cheek tightened. My father hated anything that made me human. Maya nodded. She said he told her, my son belongs to business, not emotions. Silence blanketed the room. The restaurant staff stood frozen, pretending to work while their ears stretched like antennae. The diners leaned slightly, whispering. But Maya and Leonardo didn't notice. They were locked inside a truth unraveling 20 years too late. Leonardo looked at her, something deep and wounded flickering in his eyes. She saved me, he whispered. I know. No, he insisted. She literally saved me. He took a breath. When I was 17, I tried to swim across the lake. My father had screamed at me all morning. Told me I was a disappointment. Told me he would replace me with a cousin if I didn't act like a Rossi. Maya's chest constricted. I swam too far, he continued. I got tired. I panicked. I started to drown. His voice dropped, rough like gravel. Your mother jumped in, fully clothed. No hesitation. She pulled me back. Maya felt her heart bend. She knew her mother. She wasn't surprised. And after that, he said slowly, I started talking to her every day, by the lake. She told me stories about you. About how bright and sweet you were. She taught me how to cook that dish. She told me to be a good man. Not like him. Maya blinked away tears. That sounds like her. Leonardo searched her face with an intensity that made her chest ache. When she left, he whispered, I felt like someone had ripped the only soft part of my life away. I didn't understand why. His fists clenched. I didn't know my father threatened her. Maya nodded. She didn't want you to know. She said you were a good boy. She didn't want to ruin your relationship with your father. Leonardo let out a humorless laugh. There was no relationship to ruin. The silence felt heavy, painful, real. Finally, Maya asked the question that had been knotted in her throat since the moment she saw the photograph. Why do you still have our picture? Leonardo's gaze dropped to the phone in his hand. A long pause. When he looked up, his expression was unexpectedly vulnerable. Because it's the closest thing I had to family, he said. Because when she left, I lost the only person who ever cared about me without wanting something in return. Maya felt something shift inside her. And you, he added, voice softening, you were the part of her she talked about the most. I kept the picture because I hoped, one day, I'd find you. Or her. Her voice almost broke. You looked for us, for years. Maya pressed a trembling hand to her chest. You could have let it go. I didn't want to. His tone deepened. I couldn't. A beat of silence. Then Leonardo stepped closer, so close Maya could feel the warmth of his breath. I owe her justice, he said. And I owe you answers. If your mother was framed because of my father, then I will do whatever it takes to clear her name. Even if it means tearing open wounds I've tried to forget. Emotion swelled in Maya's chest. Fear, hope, grief, disbelief. But why? She whispered. Because she saved my life, he said. And because you. He stopped, searching her face with something powerful, something raw. You're the first person in 20 years who wasn't afraid of me. Her heart thudded painfully. I'm not fearless, she whispered. No, he agreed softly, you're honest. And honesty terrifies powerful men more than fear ever will. Tears gathered in her eyes. She blinked them back. Leonardo reached forward, slowly, gently, and touched her chin, tilting it upward. His voice dropped to a whisper made of thunder and confession. Let me help you, Maya. Let me uncover what happened. Let me make this right. She swallowed hard, her voice trembling. Why should I trust you? He didn't hesitate. Because when he finally answered, it wasn't the billionaire speaking. It was the boy her mother once saved. Because this time, he said softly, I'm the one who's scared. Her breath caught. Of what? Of losing the last connection I have to the woman who taught me kindness. A tear slid down Maya's cheek. You're not losing me, she whispered. But trust, you'll have to earn it. Something in his expression softened. Something rare, vulnerable. Good, Leonardo murmured. I like challenges. Outside, the storm eased. Inside, something fragile and new began to grow. The fearless waitress, the untouchable billionaire, bound not by power, but by truth, pain, and a past that had finally found its way home.